Suklam Vardharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyaye Sarva Vignu Pashamtaye. Today, as many people requested, we would like to understand this Ayurveda astrology in the easiest way. As this request is obliged by me, I started bringing this information, which is running as a Jyotish course, Ayurveda astrology course by me. 8 batches have been completed and 9th batch is getting started mostly in the next month. These informations I would like to assimilate into a simpler language and into a mathematical model, rather than that of the making it complicated and only intuitive level. I just wish this information to bring into the normal people, common people, where easily could be understood. A zero knowledge with either Ayurveda or even with the astrology. That means novice people of the Ayurveda astrology also can understand and can practice this particular system. In this way, I have designed it. Without much delay, we just go start with our today's lecture. Hope you are able to see the screens in total. Yeah. Now this first session of the Ayurveda astrology made easy has been made as a disease perspective in AyurJyotisham as the heading. Here at present I am working with the Barwala, KSR, Haryana as a principal and also head of the department Panchgama. Now this particular progression of this Ayurveda and astrology as a branch, how we have to understand what are the things and basic components in it that we have to start a look about. Now here in this, when we are like studying any Shastram Jyotihi Prakashabdham, this is what the people has been said. Shastram is like a luminaris or otherwise a flame, and it is going to take out the darkness around. Thereby, the knowledge is in such a way makes us wise enough to understand the subject in proper way. I believe from the beginning, Vina Tarkena ya siddhihi yadrucha siddhirevata. I am not interested in a belief or an accidental success or serendipity. It has to go into a methodical research activity, and a mathematical model has to be developed instead of the intuitive model. We come across n number of the problems and issues in our day-to-day life, from the birth to till the death. Most of the time, the death is being defined as the moksham, bandha mokshayoho. Bandham is the samsaram and moksham is the death. Here I would like to play a small video which is reflecting the different levels, how this life is going to be brought into our experiences.
जैसे जादू कोई कर गई देखा तूने मुझसे मुझसे जिंदा रखा कर जिंदगी जी जैसे जादू कोई कर गई जिंदगी देखा तूने मुझसे मुझसे
This video, it speaks us how many hurdles which we are going to come across while making a life to say it as successful. The medical astrology or the Ayurveda astrology, AyurJyotisham, it is a traditional Vedanga Jyotisham extension branch with Ayurveda concepts and updates, which can be used for the either the prognostic or diagnostic tool in Ayurveda. This Ayurveda astrology, as on today, it's globally adopted and accepted, and much of the alternative system of the people are practicing with crazy and result-oriented, irrespective of the religion and country. Still, the people are trying to brand it as a Hindu. Anyway, we are not very specific to that of the controversies. This Ayurveda astrology or the Vedanga Jyotisham, which is a Sanskrit terminology based. That's why the people would like to point it out as a pseudo-predictive science. But it is not pseudo-predictive science. It is a true science with evidence, based upon the mathematics and many other physical and also chemical branches which we are looking forward. The Ayurveda astrology can be defined as an interpretative outcome of the celestial objects. Here I am using the word celestial objects because we have not only the planets, but many things come across which are the astronomical calculations. These astronomical calculations are going to speak about the positioning of an individual celestial body, and thereafter, with the combinations and permutations of these things, which we are looking at its impact over the individual, based upon the how it is, we are going to learn it. This Ayurveda astrology, as specifically the definition is relaying, is a mathematical predictive anticipation model of a pathological state or inconveniences of the physical body, invisible mind, and also its pacification remedial measures or the treatments with the celestial bodies connecting to that of the herbs, minerals, metals, and gems, and also other physical things like sound vibration, light vibration, etc. That means ultimately we are understanding this astrology related is with that of the gravitational forces, electromagnetic forces, radiation forces, radioactive forces, and many more things which are related with the astronomy and astrophysics and other sciences. These branches, it was really summing up is a very difficult. The Vedanta Jyotisha having lots of the other branches like even meteorology, seismology, all these things are being included. Now these things have become independent branches also and sciences also. Thereby, a science which is dependent on the true sciences is said to be always a true science only. Thereby, the astrology is a true science, but it cannot be just made out as unnecessary and pseudo-predictives. How to identify a disease in a horoscope is medical astrology, Ayurveda astrology is a big picture. Diseases interpretation is done through the graha, the planets, interpreted directly either to that of the diseases, Vidosha, and Shadbaras, and Shadrutus, Shadrasas, Saptadhatus, Aushadis, and Dhanyas, etc. This taste, tissue, herbs and grains and metals and minerals, diamonds or the gems, everything is going to be get used within a relational, interrelational study has been established. This establishment is not today. At present, the material which we are reading is assumed that at least 16,000 years old, where the present Mahayuga Rama was said to be the 16,000 years ago, based upon the paleontology, based upon the oceanology, based upon the anthropology, and also based upon the astronomical calculation. We can understand and estimate the present Rama to whom we are worshipping as Ayodhya Rama belongs to approximately 16,000 years back. From that time onwards, the astrology was there. In the Ramayana also, you can observe the words related to that of the Dina, Masa, Paksha, Nakshatras, and all these things. How come this could be of the present day? Some of the people has focused these Vedic sciences or the Indian sciences are only after the BC, before to Christ, even we were not wearing the cloth. That was their assumption. The fact is, in our daily routines, when we are performing the puja, we are going to speak Jambu Dvipe, Bharatavarshe, Bharatkhande, Mero, Dakshina Digbhage. When we are giving this geotag and biotag and genetic tag, when we are speaking out a mantra pushpam or the starting an initiation of the prayer or any activity, this states really we know much more better things, because very simple things are to be said. Here the Chatussagara is to be considered. We know as at present the India is a peninsula, Deepakalpam. Three sides we have the ocean. Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and Hindu Ocean, which is the fourth ocean. The fourth ocean, when I'm searching in the net, 10 million years ago, the Himalayas were not existing, and Himalayas formed 10 million years ago. Before to the 10 million years ago, the India was not a peninsula, it was an island. When it is an island, the fourth side, on the northern side, there was an ocean. And this ocean was called by the name Tethys Ocean. And this ocean was existing, and the people, those who have made their escalations at Himalayas, they found seashells in the Himalayas, which is suggesting there were a fourth Mahasagara. As we speak in our day-to-day prayers, the Chatussagara Paryantango Brahmana, even the Ashirvada, when it is being given, they also we say Chatussagara. This Chatussagara, that means our ancestral knowledge which we possess, at least when it was in Jambudvipa, 10 million years ago to that point. In fact, 71 million years ago, we have been separated from the Gondwana land, and everything is being stated in the astrological timelines, which we can make it. 4.32 million years, 4.32 billion years. 4.32 billion years is the age of the sun, present sun. I am using the word present sun, the sun, which is going to start with a Brahma Dina and ends with the Brahma Dina. Starts with the Brahma Dina, which is approximately 8.34 billion years. Half of that is the day. In the day, almost our sun is at the verge of closing, and is it going to become either white dwarf or the red giant, mostly as this is of the orange color light and white light which is emitting. The sun is going to become a red giant and spreads, and it is going to be get self-destroyed. When the sun is going to be get self-destroyed, out of that one Mahayuga is going to be get completed. Subsequent Mahayuga starts elsewhere with else star as a sun, and there the life is going to be started. This is what the astronomy is going to state as. When we have this different sources and materials interpretations established in the Ayurveda and also astrology, both areas these are being used, then the interconnectivity is going to become very easy. We have even noted Graha Karakatwas are the Prabhava actions. Rasaguna Viji Vipaka Prabhava as a concept of Ayurveda which we have. The same thing concept is going to be brought into the celestial bodies also. This Graha Karakatva Prabhavas are going to show an extraordinary impact. The question is going to be there, how these planets of the so far is going to affect us. The gravity. Simply speaking as such, the moon is going to come nearer and farther from the earth. Whenever the moon is going to show the nearer phase of the new moon day and full moon day, the new moon day and full moon day, the Paurnami and Amavasya, these two areas, two times, our blood pressures are going to be get increased, and the oceans are going to be getting the more high tides. This is what because of the gravitational pull. A planet, a small, a satellitic planet, otherwise to say, that moon is giving this much of the impact. A super Earths are available in the area, and the whatever the stars we are referring, they are of the gigantic in nature, and they are spreading their gravitational pull and also gamma radiations from long distances. Thereby, those things are certainly going to affect. Our Ayurveda, as it speaks about the Rutu Prabhava, astrology speaks about the Graha Prabhava. We can understand in medical astrology, Ayurveda astrology, the Anuvamshika Vyadhis and genetic disorders. Even we have the Graha Masanumasa, Graha Sampatti also is being explained. How the fetal development and how the effect is going to be there, and how the fetus formation with defect or without defect is going to be there. And when the Graha Yogas are being described with the combinations and permutation, it reveals some of the specified area. If suppose, when we are making a cup of tea or coffee, in coffee, we are going to have a quantity sum of the 1 gram of the coffee powder with the 1 teaspoonful or 3 to 5 grams of the sugar with a cup full of the 120 ml of the milk heated. This becomes a beautiful coffee. When it is a simple thing is with so much of the specification and calculation, why not this planetary positions and its angulation are going to be giving a cumulative, a radiation effect and also magnetic effect, electromagnetic effect, and also gravitational pulse. In fact, the physicists say the weak force, strong force, and electromagnetism, this is a triad which do not fit for the gravity. Gravity is a different entity and electromagnetism is a different entity. most of the time we refer to Rahu and Ketu as a Chaya Graha. When I was looking this Chaya Graha otherwise is the magnetic meridian of the earth, which is going to move along with, and it makes the a magnetic field very perfectly in a different constellation. One is the node and antinode is the Ketu. Node is the Rahu, antinode is the Ketu. This is going to move around this earth, thereby we get the anti-clockwise movement of the Rahu and Ketu. Magnetic meridian or the magnetic field of the earth is moving anti, not a pro. Even the Samhitas of the astrology, Jyotisha has given the Parivartana Yogas and many yogas, Pancha Mahapurusha Yogas. And all these yogas, when we are going to see, we will be getting a passionate and simultaneously confused. Why I am saying here is, we need not believe all these things as it is. We have to apply, and the applied aspect of the astrology and evidence-based astrology has to be brought forward. This is what my aim and ambition for the past 30 years. From 1990, I am working on the same thing. Today, I could get some of the solutions which I am bringing you in front of you. We use ultimately Gochara and Dasha systems. Thereby, we can very specifically locate a event anticipation or the happening. If suppose somebody is exposed to hot sun and simultaneously with the cold water, what do we expect? Fever. Why it is so? Whenever the temperatures variations are going to be altered very fast enough, it is going to give a problem. That's what we know it. The School of Technoayurveda is very specifically providing certificate of the proficiency in AyurJyotisham for the prophylactic, diagnostic, prognostic, and curative models of the disease to be developed based upon the nakshatra, rashi, and graha involvement. Here, I would like to bring some of the common terminologies which we use in astrology. First one is the rashi. Rashi means, see, when we are on earth, here heliocentric the word and geocentric is another word. The sun is called helium, and heliocentric calculation. When we are calculating, might be you know very well, suppose from Nagpur to Delhi, we want to calculate the distance, which we are going to see is Nagpur bus station to Delhi bus station. The same way, here when we are interstellar, from our Earth group or the solar group of the planet to that of the another galaxy, another star, when we are calculating, we calculate from the sun position. And sun is having a secular, and at the outermost Kuiper belt, only one small dwarf planet is away, Aries. And in Vishnu Purana, I believe so, there is a path of the Raivata Maharaja. The path, he wants to go for the Brahma Loka. From the earth, he travels to the Iris, which is outside of the Kuiper, and from there he goes to the Brahma Loka. Even I recollect one of the UFO's abduction videos, in that one lady was speaking the pathway of the abduction where she has been taken is also the same way what has been said in our Hindu Puranas. This Rashi is always calculated from the earth, geocentric positions. When we are on the earth, from the earth, when we are calculating anything, that is called geocentric. From the earth, when we see 360 degrees in a circular way, a circle is going to have 360 degrees. For the calculation purpose, we have divided the 360 degrees of the circle into 12 segments of the equal, where each segment is 30 degrees. The 30 degree is called as a Rashi, like Mesha, Vrishabha, Midhuna, Karkata, Sindha, etc. of the Tuldimeda. And this is called as the even star constellation and also even the mansions also. Here the Navamsha is 1/9 part of this particular Rashi. The 30 degrees, when it is being divided by 9, it comes to 3 degrees 20 minutes. This is equivalent to that of the one nakshatra. Each and every nakshatra is going to have 4 padas. Total together in 360 degrees, we are going to have 108 padas. 108 padas means one nakshatra is 13 degrees 20 minutes of the span, and there will be 27 nakshatras when it is being divided with. Here, there is a one more word comes in as a drekana. Drekana is 1/3 part of a Rashi, it is 10 degrees. If the Lagna, many people are going to have a small confusion with. Janma Lagna, that means always referred to that of the Janma Kundali. Janma Kundali is with the 12 Rashis, no divisions are going to be undertaken. Here, this Lagna is a point of horizon at the time of the birth. At a geo horizon, whichever the Rashi is there, whichever nakshatra point is there, whichever out of this degrees, minutes and seconds, a point blank is there, that is being considered as the Lagna for that particular person, whoever is there. As this is going to be there, this is a starting point of your life where rest of the things are to be expressed or predicted. Here, the Janma Lagna is referred to that of the physical body relations and physical body concerns and physical body expectations. Chandra Lagna is the one more term which we are going to use. The Chandra Lagna refers to that of the position of the Chandra in the entire zodiac 27 nakshatras and nakshatra paths. This Chandra is referred to that of the mind or the psyche. The psychological. Now, when we are anticipating any disease, we go with a physical body disease or a psychological disease. Apart from there are some other things also, one after the other we are going to meet. Basically, a psychological and somatic diseases. Psychological diseases are going to be expressed or understood to the of moon and moon position, Chandra Lagna, and the physical body disease and disorders are to be understood from the Janma Lagna. The both are in the Janma Kundali only. The third one is the Surya Lagna. The Atma is not going to have any sort of this idiotic diseases, but Atma suffers because of the Karma Vipaka. The Karma Vipaka Atma suffering is to be understood from the Surya position or Surya where he is posited in the particular horoscope. This Surya Lagna or the Rashi position of the sun is going to be expressing about the soul and how strong the soul is. A weak soul and strong soul. A Karma Vipaka, affected soul and non-affected soul. Both are going to be possible. Roga. Now we come for the Roga or a disease. The disease is very specifically to be understood from the 6th place. This is what the traditional astrology speaks. I speak in a different way, which you can hear after this. The Vyaya is called as a Rifa, the 12th place from the Lagna. This is going to speak about the hospitalization and expenditure in general. Ayu is to be understood from the 8th placement from the Lagna, which expresses the longevity of the lifespan. Here, Saukheshwara, who is it? Saukhyam means comfort. Saukheshwara is the Lord of the comfort. The Lord of the comfort is always seen from the 4th house Lord. Now you may have a question. Now comfort can be physical and also psychological. Exactly. The 4th placement and 4th Lord of the from the moon is to be understood for that of the Manasika Saukhyam, and from the Lagna, 4th place and 4th Lord is to be understood for that of the Sharira Saukhyam. Many people, those who have the physical comfort, may not be having the psychological comfort. People, those who have the psychological comfort, they may lose the physical comfort even. Now, I just wish to bring into your notice a long ago, so long ago. Just now I said, our informations and sciences are not less than about 16,000 years old from the Indian origination. There is a small evidence being placed in front of you. Here, what the disc which you see is called as genetic disc. It is a 27 centimeter in diameter and 2 kg in weight, found in Colombia. This genetic disc is having the ovum, sperm, and formation of the zygote and genes, and how the fetal development is going to be there as we speak. The kalalam jayate pradhame mase, and like dhanapinde, dvitiya mase, like which has been said in the Charaka Samhita, they have been depicted on a stone. They sculpted on the stone. How come a microscopic things are going to be placed on a stone carving, and who did it 6,000 years ago? This makes very astonishing on both sides together. It speaks up to the delivery. If you see a little magnifying this particular image, you can just search from the genetic desk Technoayurveda, then you will be getting this one. Here, if you see, the ovum is being given with that of the a cellular lining, and at the central a big nucleus even. And the nucleus and sperm which is going to be get joining together and forming a big nucleus is also being shown here. And after that, the chromosomes are being depicted here. This is really fantastic, and many other artifacts of this 6,000 years old has been shown, which are being made of the stone very specifically. Exactly their description, when you see the artifacts which are available along with this genetic disc, resembles a description of the instruments which we use in the Shalya Tantra, and the same thing has been there with. And the forceps delivery and the knife used for the umbilical cord to cut by the stone is also there, which is of the 6,000 years old. You will be getting astonished to understand this science. Now, this entire childbirth which we are seeing, a microscopic way which has been seen a 6,000 years old or 6,000 years ago, is supposed to be with a concept of the healthy child, which we speak in Ayurveda. A healthy child has to be born. Further, there is a muhurta is being noted, and this muhurta and Tijivara Nakshatra Yoga Karanas of the Panchanga are observed, and it is being in an isolation place for the healthy child, where the both wife and husband prepared well for the healthy child are going to come. Punasandhanam. And after that, we have even the Pumsavanam Kriya. The Punasandhanam and Pumsavana Kriyas, which are of the Ayurveda, are based upon the traditionality of the astrology. And when we see this compatibility, nowadays, many of the areas which we see, the wife and husband or the married couple are going to get lots of the problems. Why these problems are coming? A couple compatibility has to be observed well before of the marriage, thereby a proper healthy progeny can be developed. Here, astrology suggests the star count from the moon star to moon star of the opponent, or the wife or a girl's star to that of the star of the husband or the boy is being accounted. The same, where we have the 9 planets are being distributed in the 27 stars, from the Ketu, Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini, Mrigatira, Ardra, Punarvasu, Pushyami, Aslesha. Here the 9, Makha, Pubba, Uttara, Hasta, Chitta, Swati, Visakha, Anuradha, Jeshta. Second set, Mula, Purvashada, Uttarashada, Shravanam, Dharisha, Satabhisham, Purva Bhadra, Uttara Bhadra, Revati. It starts with the Ketu Nakshatra, ends with the Buddha Nakshatra. This distribution is going to be there. If you belongs to your Janmatara is Makha, Makha, the Ketu Nakshatra is going to become the Ashwini becomes the Ketu Nakshatra as Janmatara. And Janmatara is good for the always all the programs when you are going to see. The Sampattara is going to give the better benefit. Vipattara is for the obstacles. Kshematara is for the comfort. Pratyak Tara is the fifth one, use the complications. Sadhana is going to be perfect work and treatment can be undertaken. Naidana Tara, the seventh is a complicated and Naidana is to be always omitted. At least the fifth and third stars are having a price chitta, whereas the seventh is always better to be omitted because it gives lots of the complications, even the death also. The eighth and ninth are Mitra and Parama Maitra Taras, which are going to be happy and favorable enough. Now, we have to look for the Tarabala and Graha Maitri also. If suppose Seni Nakshatra is one and Ravi Nakshatra is somebody, Ravi and Seni are the enemies. If this is going to happen, this makes a lots of the problem with that. Now, the second level of the compatibility for the couple, for the healthy child is Rashikuta. We have to see from the individual person, from female to the male always. This is the rule. Here we see 2 and 12. This is called Vidvarasam, is going to cause the death. 3 and 11 is going to give the agony. 10 and 4 is the Virodham rivalry. 9 and 5 is the Vaidhavyam widower. 6 and 8 Shashtastakam is the quarrelsome. All these which are shown in this red color are going to be a interrupted marriages or otherwise disrupted matrimonial life. If you can see on the other hand, 12-2 is the Arogyam, healthy. 11-3 is the Sukham, comfort. 10 and 4 is the Preeti, love. And 5 and 9 Saukhyam, comfort once again. 8 and 6, Ashtashashtakam. This is here is the Shashta Ashtakam. Here the Ashtashashtakam is going to be created. This is the one more thing which we have to see before to that of the matrimony. A third level is also there for you. Here the compatibility when we are trying to see, we see the Yoni Vairam, which is noted as otherwise said as the animal instinct of the individuals. Each and every nakshatra is given a specified Yoni. And if your Yoni, a person is a mouse and cat is going to be there, this is a very rivalry problem. Here the elephant and lion, here whatever set is being given, one dominates the other, thereby dominations are going to be always violent in the family life. Thereby, these combinations are to be omitted. Mouse and cat, Mushika, Marjara, the Hasti and Gaja and Simha, tiger and cow or otherwise. You can just say pronounce in any of the language which is cow and tiger, monkey and goat and snake and mungus. The snake and monkey can be sometimes, but even that is also problematic. Dog and deer, horrible. Horse and buffalo is okay, horrible. So all these things which we have to see, ultimately, it is going to make a bad thing. Now, another area very specifically from the Technoayurveda, which I am bringing into your notice is the assessment of the fifth house is a very much necessary to avoid the physically challenged, genetically challenged childbirth. One has to examine the bride and groom natal horoscope fifth position, fifth house, especially from the Janma Lagna, to avoid the genetically challenging children. If the Rahu occupies the fifth house in the Janma Lagna, Kundali, then it is going to give a problem. Okay, and the Navansha Kundali also to be assessed. Here, I just want to make a small pause. Please bear with me. Here, this Rahu in the fifth house is going to give lots of the problems and especially genetically challenging children. The association of the Guru Puja is going to aggravate it. I have seen n number of the horoscope where the fifth position is going to be there in the Janma Lagna, from the fifth base of the Janma Lagna, it is always a problematic. You may ask one more question also, whether all the children of this couple are going to be, once again, the Dasa reflections and Gochara reflections are going to be there, where I have seen first child is normal, second child is genetically impaired, first child is genetically impaired, second child is normal. So we have to assess properly this fifth house and thereby we can make it out. Here, a common question which we get is the Prakriti assessment through astrology. It is a easy task and it is a complicated also sometimes. We can very comfortably say the planet, whichever it is going to be there with, a Shariraka Prakriti from the Janma Lagna, Mano Prakriti from the Chandra Lagna. Here the Shariraka Prakriti, if the Ravi predominance is there, Pittadika, see one thing, the Ravi in the Lagna is one thing and Ravi as a Lagnadipati is one thing. Ravi as a Lagnadipati as a Simha or a Nakshatra which is going to be posited, that's why a three-tier program of the assessment is necessary. I have given here an assessment, easy assessment way to make a very comfortably. Here, before to go to that of this, I want to go with the Masa and Masa, Garbha, Vruddhi, how it is going to happen. Ayurveda, we know already how it is going to be there with, as in the Pradhame Masaha, Kalalam Jayate, where in the first month, Suprartava Samyoga is going to be there, and the Suprartava Samyoga which is going to be making under the influence of the Sukra Graha. The Sukra Graha is specifically responsible for the genetic materials in either of the male or female. In the second month, the influence of the Kuja Graha will be there, and this Kuja Graha is going to be representative of the Majja or the Mastaka Majja, Mastulunga Majja. Here the Majja, whenever it is going to come, I consider the only neural material, a Ghanapinda which is going to be there, and this Ghanapinda segregation because of the Kuja Ushma. And the Ahara Viharas accordingly, which has been said, I am not bringing here for the interpretation. In the third month, Guru is going to be there, which is of the mother of the fatty. Here, the fat molecule and the protein molecules are said to be the most important to develop the entire human body, the Anga Pratyanga Vibhagas, but still it is still softer only. In the fourth month, as the Ravi is going to be ruling that particular month, the Asti, Atma, Hridaya are going to be there with the fetus. Asti, Atma, Hridaya. We speak Spandanam here in this. There will be a Spandanam, but Spandana is not reflective with that of the Atma, where the Atma is going to join from the fourth month, then it is going to join after that till the time of the fifth month, the Atma, Asti, and also Hridaya, which is going to make the baby to limelight, and it becomes a regulative by the fifth month, and there the mind and manas is going to start, because already by this time, within this fourth to fifth month, all the Karmendriya, Jnanendriya has been formed. Ultimately, at the virtue of the completion of the fourth month and entering into the fifth month, the manas is going to take over. And Niyanta Praneta cha Manasaha, the Vata is going to be there herewith, and ultimately it is going to show as a baby. Sixth month, Shani gives the Mamsa Kandras and also Buddhi. Many a times, even I was at a mistaken, Buddhi is supposed to be given by the Guru, but not the Shani. Buddhir Nischayatmaka Jnana. Jnana, Nischayatmaka Jnana is the work of the Shani. Here we miss a particular point in the medical astrology by the common astrologers. Here anything, whichever the work, whenever it is happening in astrology, that is by the Shani, and Shani is not a lesser or mandam. He has to work with the perfection. And in the seventh month, Buddha rules, and here the rasa is going to be there. All the indriyas interlinkage with the manas is going to be there. In the eighth month, the Garbhadana Lagna is going to be Adhipati, Garbhadana Lagna Adhipati. At the time of the conception, whoever is the Lord, he is going to look forward, and thereby the oscillation of the voyages, and Dhastara is being observed. In the 9th month, again, the Chandra is going to take over, and this Chandra is making the mind intentions expressive. In the 10th month, once again, Ravi, the Karma Vipaka, thereby, according to the Karma Vipaka, the delivery happens, and the boy is going to be having his first cry. Now, at the time of the Garbhadana Kala, when the zygote formation is there, very small and precise observation by the ancient people has been given. In the day, if the conception is there, the paternal anticipations are given from the Shani. That means here the Shani, who is going to be there with, in the 6th month, giving the Mamsa Kandaras, is through that is the paternal strengths are going to be achieved. And the maternal by the Chandra, here the Chandra, who is for the Raktasarata and the mind, it is going to be of the maternal things which we can observe. If it is going to be in the night, then the Ravi establishes the paternal. Here the Atma Hridaya, the strength is going to be from the sun, and the Sukra is going to be maternal. And here the Sukra is going to be the strength of the formation of the reproductive tissues are going to be stronger as if it is going to. What the previously people are anticipating is a strong body rather than that of the body, strong will, which is of the sun, and a strong progeny. These two are going to be get achieved. Many a times there is a small confusion when we see the months. They say 30 days month is going to be get calculated by the people. 270 days, which we are going to see as a normal, which is after the completion of the 9th month. If at all we see a cycle of the menstrual cycle is of the 28 days, 10 months means 280 days. From the 270, 280 days in between, the delivery has to happen. That is the 10th month after the completion of the 9th month, according to the menstrual cycle. So as such here, we understand till to soul or the Atma and Asti for the Surya, mind and Rakta for the Chandra, strength and Majja for that of the Puja, speech and Rasa for the Buddha, thought and Medas is by the Guru, desires and genetic materials, Suprasorita are by the Supra, miseries and Mamsa are by the Shani, and physic and Sharira is to be observed through the Lagna. Here the physical body is the Deha Prakriti, psychological body, Manasika Prakriti to be understood, and a spiritual body, Atma Prakriti also to be brought out. The Atma Prakriti is to be known by the Surya. These are the guidelines which are given for the Deha Prakriti to understand. Here in the first column, I have given the Rashi, Dosha, dominance, motility and immortality, Graha influencing, Dosha influencing, and Dhatu influencing. Here, when you see the things, for example, a person who born in the Kanya is of the Vata dosha in general, and Diswabhavi. This Diswabhavi is Stira and Chara together, the momentary and immobility. Buddha is the Lord of it, where he is representing three doshas, and he is denoting the Rasa in specific. Rasa Tridoshaja Prakriti is going to be understood for the Deha Prakriti. If it is for that of the, here the Rasasara Purusha, which we can say, the person who born with the particular under influence. The same way which we have to see also. If you see for that of the Manasik Prakriti on the other side, you can just see here the Rasi, Dosha, Bhuta, Grahas, and etc. are being given. Even the Rahu and Ketu are also being given here. Their attributions also being. If suppose a Mesha born, here the Rajasika, Agribhuta, Pradhana, Ujagraha, Tamasa, Prakriti, Tamasa Dosha, and Ugra is going to be there with. This is a common anticipation. But my suggestion is whenever we are making a Deha Prakriti or the Manasika Prakriti, even we have to consider the Nakshatra also. Here the Nakshatra, Graha, or the Rashi, both are most important. Rasi, Graha, Nakshatra, the three together is going to give a better and good combination. So as such here, when we see there are some of the diseases very directly being said, I was looking for the alternative and establishment. These are not able to be established in another principle except directly to understand. For example, Ravi in the Diddasada are in the first 1 to 12, 12, 1 and 2 areas, it is going to give the eye diseases. In the 8, it gives total loss of vision and blindness is being stated. The observations which we have to make still, this andhatvam and loss of vision, whether it's at the birth time, I have to look forward whether what is the sun position for the children, those who have the blindness at the time of the birth itself, not the andhatvam or the even the blindness in total. The second is the Chandra. Chandra, 6th place is abdominal pain, 8th place is unknown disease. How this has to be interpretative, these are being stated as per the personal observations of the author is my belief, but not being classified as a concept. Many of the stanzas in such a way which we are going to observe in the traditional astrology textbooks, either it is of the Brihad Parashara or the Jataka Parijata, Taravali, or the any of the things which do not make any conceptualization, they give only number of options which has to be brought into a concept. This is our duty to perform it to restore the glory of the astrology and Vedic sciences. But there are 3 types of the disorders and diseases can be made out. The first one is the Kuja type of diseases, second is Shani type of disease, third is Guru type of disease. If you see, if you understand, if you know already the aspect of the vision of an individual graha, when we say all grahas are having the 180 degrees of the Saptama Drishti. But Puja, Shani and Guru have the Vishesha Drishti. These 3 are going to give, if suppose it's a Puja type of disease, sudden onset, acute, surgical in nature, inflammatory in nature, Agneya, the burning pains are going to be get observed, and rapid manifestation is going to be there. Spontaneous damage it can create and related to the Majja, neural material, especially. If it is going to be the Shani, it is a slow progressive in onset, chronic diseases are going to come across, makes complicated, senile in origination, and Vayuvya or the smashing pain is going to be get understood, slow manifestation, slow damage, and related to most of the time muscle nonsense. Guru disorder, progression based on the associations, wherever if it is of the Guru or any other planet, then this the same way it is going to be made out. And here, whether it is not subacute type of the things are going to be there with, and most of the time it is medical in the origination, not in the surgical, and tumors and accumulative things are going to be made out. Sometimes may related to the of the surgical with relation to the of the puja once again. Jaliya or numb pain is going to be get observed. Based on the association, the manifestation occurs, and the same way damage. And it is related to much more time the slow and growth like Meda. Thereby, the disorders of the Guru are said to be the long term rather than of the short term. Even the Shani is the long term, it gives a problem and pain, whereas it is a numb. Thereby, people of the Guru disorder, they ignore. Commonest Guru disorder is the obesity, which people ignore. And that's what we see here. Here, one after the another, I would like to bring you the South Indian Kundali and North Indian Kundali both have been brought here. South Indian use the square model and the diamond model is used by the North Indian. Here I have taken the 10th. 10th is the Makara Lagna. You can just see, I have shown the same thing. Makara Lagna is the first place. First place is called Janma Lagna, which is going to express the physical body and its health and its relationship. The same way I have shown in another color, the moon position also, moon in the 3rd house, 3rd is otherwise the Mithuna Rasi. You have to see through the numbers in the North Indian Kundali, whereas this is a fixed one. It starts from the Mesha and clockwise ends with the Meena. Here, this South Indian, North Indian styles, which are capable and comfortable, can be read with. Here, in this example chart, Lagna is of the Makara and Chandra is the Mithuna. Here, the physique of an individual is to be understood by the lords of the Lagna Rasi and Nakshatra and aspecting planets. Here, the psyche is to be noted from the moon Rasi, Nakshatra, and planets accordingly. I am not giving any example. In the next class, I try to give these examples of the same thing. Here, if you see, the first one is to be understood here. As I was speaking in this particular, for example, the Makara is there. Makara, Lagna, I was saying, Makara is ruled by the Shani. The position of the Shani in the horoscope has to be understood, and thereby, in whichever the nakshatra the person is there, and from the Lagna, with what distance it is there, thereby we anticipate the strength of the Shani related to the strength of the Lagna, and thereby we are going to say physical strength, the same way the mental strength also. Here, when we see the second bhava, that is being stated with the ahara bhava or the kutumba bhava. Here, the body is going to require food for the nourishment. Body requirement is to be understood from the second house. What he eats and what he needs. And thereby the Lord, Rasi and Nakshatra, accordingly we make it out. The same way the Chandra. What body needs is to be known from the Lagna second place. From the Chandra second place, we are going to understand with the what the mind likes. See, people may eat something, but they like something different. Here, what we have to observe is what is liked by the mind, what is liked by the physical body. The second place, Makara, which means a dietic cause of the death. You see here, the second place is set as the Marakasthana. The Marakasthana, this is a cause here, dietetic cause. The dietetic cause of the death, a physical body to destroy, a dietetic factor involvement will be there. That is to be understood from the second place. This is the Marakasthana. A person, whoever is eating over or unnecessary thing, which nourishes the body in the respect, causes a disease, is to be understood. Thereby, the analysis of the second place regarding his dietetic habits are to be observed through the Kundalini. Third is here. We are not discussing the third. Third is commonly said as a Bhatrubhava, and it is even assistance also. I come across this assistance in a different way afterwards. Here, the Saukya Bhava, Saukyeshwara, the comfort Lord. The Lord of comfort, if suppose the fourth Lord is in the Kendra. Kendra is 1, 4, 7, 10 places, or Kona means 1, 5, 9 places. Then the person is going to be said as healthy and strong. If the fourth place is referred to mother also, thereby the properties are the getting any sort of the immovable properties, movable properties, that could be decided even from this. And the comfort, most of the time, decided from the fourth house. And here you can just see the fifth house. As I was speaking about the Rahu. And not only the Rahu, we have to see the genetical diseases in relation with fifth house. And thereby, in medical astrology, fifth house becomes a specific house to examine for the children, the infertility, or issues of the infertility, or the fertility, and genetically impaired children. All these things are to be brought here with the fifth house very specifically. And whenever this Rahu vibrates with the fifth house, especially in the Janma Kundali, it is vulnerable, and if it is in the Navamsha Kundali, it is further vulnerable. In the Nija Vyadhi, then we are say we have the classification of the Nija Vyadhi, Agampuja Vyadhi, etc. From the Janma Lagna and Chandra Lagna, sixth place has to be respectively for the physical disease and psychological disease could be anticipated. So from here, the Chandra position, sixth house becomes the 11th house in this horoscope. from the Lagna, sixth house is there in the Mithuna Rasi. The Chandra is there in. We see the psych and disease, physic and disease relation is established with the moon. Here the psychosomatic disorders are going to be frequently appearing. If this moon is going to be having the lesser Shadbala or the weak, waning mood, then this impact is going to be more enough. Here, whenever we see the Rashi Rashyadipati is going to reflect about the dosha, Parpita Kapas, Graha posited reflection is going to be the dhatu. If suppose moon is there in the particular area, then we say here the rakta here corresponding rakta is going to be damaged or rakta is going to be get vitiated out of the sapta dhatus. The nakshatra is going to reflect about it, the srotas and even the body part is to be made out. Here in this regard, Technoayurveda has made a specified research to identify Anga Pratyanga Vibhaga of the entire body through the Panchavidha Vata, Panchavidha Vitta, Panchavidha Kapha, and also we through the Nakshatra Agas. The combination of the disease as the Dosha Dusha Sammurchana. Here the Dosha Dusha Sammurchana we see here as the disease manifestation through a Graha, Nakshatra, Rati Yogas. Here when we see the seventh bhava is said as a spouse. Here the spouse related diseases can be anticipated through the seventh bhava. Not only that, it is going to be a Marakasthana. Why it became Marakasthana? Seventh bhava is the second place from the sixth bhava. That means a Roga Ahara is dictating with the seventh. Whatever the dietetic factors which we can evaluate from the seventh bhava or the disease provoking diet is to be understood here. And this it aggravates the disease condition. The seventh place is referred to the of the spouse. The spouse many a times becoming the cause of the irritation and cause of the disease also. This is also to be understood and the influences of the partners also to be understood from the seventh. When you see after the seventh, we go with the eighth, where the Ayurdaya or the lifespan is to be understood through. Here we go with the physical, psychological, exogenous indentation or the accidents like are to be anticipated or a sudden event are going to be understood through this. Thereby a prognostic study can be made. And whenever we are looking for a recovery phase, this recovery also could be understood with that of the eighth house from this specific. See, from the Chandra, eighth house is here the Lagna. Here the Chandra Sthana to the Lagna Sthana is Shashtashtaka, Ashtashtaka. This also is it. From the Lagna is the Shashta, Ashtaka. Here from Chandra is the Ashtashashtaka. This also makes a difference. Here the same way which we have to make even, this place is an assistance to that of the disease also. Because third house always reflects the assistance. Whether the lifespan is more, a comfortable assistance to that of the disease specification is going to be done. If the vulnerability or when there is a malefic planets are going to be there with, it is going to be a positive to that of the disease to benefit. Here the minus into minus is going to be plus. This is what the mathematical formula is to be brought. If a malefic in the eighth house is going to cure a disease faster than the of a benefit. So as we have to anticipate and regulate it. 10th bhava is going to be Nija Vyadhi, Preraka Ahara can be made out, and also which we can make occupational areas also. Here, this occupational areas, when we say it represents the profession and occupational conditions, and the third place from the Lagna, which we are going to see from, is going to be the assistance area, which will be for the psychologically linked. And from the Chandra, it becomes here the fifth place. There, the third place from the Lagna, when we are going to see assistance, this assistance from the 10th house is going to be making a comfortability relation with that of the Lagna disorders and thereby the diseases which are going to be established. Here I would like to bring into your notice, there is a one formula principle, Bhavat Bhavam. We discussed this Bhavat Bhava, Bhavadipati to Bhavam. This, how the relationship has to be established between the Bhavadipati and Bhava, we are going to make in the future discussion. But the 10th house gives a professional or occupational disease relations. Vyadhi Nirharana is to be understood from the 11th, 12th house, and where we are going to see the hospitalization and discharges and even the expenditures also. This is a Ritva Bhava. Commonly 6, 8, and 12 are normally being understood to be made a triad of the disease, anticipation and relief. But apart from, we have to see as a physician the different aspects also, which I have already explained as the Ahara Bhava, Vihara Bhava, or the Vritti Bhava, or the occupational. Thereby, we can just make out that there is one more thing. A 12th place and 2nd place is to be examined always all the time. Whatever the planets which are posited in the 2nd bhava or the 12th bhava, they influence the life always all the time. In the 12th bhava, if the Shani is there or the Ketu is there, it is being said to be reflective with that of the moksha. If there is a Mars or Venus in the 12th bhava, that is going to be determining the sexual pleasures also. Thereby, we have to assess amicably and comfortably all these 12 bhavas respect to the of a particular disease. If you are going to understand this bhava, bhava, bhavadipati bhava, this principle, then furthermore evaluation can be done at the easiest way. Sukasangikam arogyam vikaro dukkhamevacha. This vikara vyadhi which we are saying, arogyam, health and sukham is a comfort, it is going to be, otherwise disease is with that of the agony or the dukkham. When we see the bhava, bhava, bhavadipati bhava, this relationship's establishment is the most important. Commonly, as I said, 6th and 8th and 12th places are going to be analyzed for this is the anticipation, where we are going beyond to the normal and we are going to examine ahara bhava, vihara bhava, Leya bhava or the refu bhava, and this is developed by the spouse or the partner, and also occupational disorders, environmental disorders also. All these things which we are going to bring to the horoscope can be understood. Vyadhi disease is, as we said already, a small summarization. Manifestation of the disease as like Sammuchanam of the dosha, dusha, srota, clearly Rashadipati, Graha, and Nakshatra Pada is going to be understood. Commonly, 6th bhava relation, Kala Purusha Anga Pratyanga Vibhaga is being done, and this is nomenclature is going to be brought forward, and thereby we are going to understand how to determine a specified area of the disease manifestation, and thereby the corresponding homa or havana or Aushadha can be given accordingly, or Manidharana, Upahara, etc. One thing to understand here, as always in astrology, there are some of the conditions applied. I just speak golden rules and statementation. Here, whenever the disease is going to be there, the rules of the health or disease are going to be nullified or broken, or when it is going to be in the negative area. If the Rogadipati is in 12th, 6th Lord in 12th is going to be, there will be no disease. If the Rogadipati is in the nature or debilitation or the Mudha Graha. If the Roga Bhava, Bhavadipati, Bhavakaraka are weak, a weak planet can do nothing or cannot give a disease. If it is associated with another malefic planet, minus into minus is equal to plus it becomes. If it is posited with in a particular placementation or otherwise, there are some of the individualized disease. Say, I just try to say, Mangal dosha commonly being made panic by the many people. Puja dosha or the Mangal dosha. Any guru relation with that of the Mangala is not going to be a Mangal dosha. This is an unification. This rule is not going to be told by anybody. Why? This is what the commercialization of the astrology. We are not in need of the commercialization of the astrology. We are the fact finders of the medical astrology, which we are doing. So, looking at the conditions, we prepare the rules, golden rules, and special rules and nullification. I don't mind. I speak in my course, which I make a 40 hours of the course. In that, I clearly say this rule doesn't apply. Do not bother about. This is a wrong positioning or wrong calculation. This cannot be implemented. So I just make it out. I have given a AyurJyotisham book also. It is there with, and here I summarize. Thank you very much for the today's concept of the Ayurveda astrology made. If you have any questions, we just try to make out and we'll answer some of the questions. If no questions, we are going to wait for the next session whenever it is possible. Any questions? Oh, no questions. Thank you very much. Anybody wants to give any comment? What if Rashi, Prakriti, and Nakshatra within that Rashi contradicts each other? This is a very nice question. See, I was speaking about the Deha Prakriti and Manasika Prakriti. There will be a combination and permutation. There will be no Eka Prakriti. There is no even Dvanda Prakriti also. There will be only Tridosha Prakriti. Whenever you are analyzing either through the astrology or through the Ayurveda, if you are going for the same percentage wise of the Tridosha Prakriti, Taratama Vedanapulabdi. Here, there will be 63 groups of the different Taratama Vedanapulabdi, Sandipatika, Lakshanas, which have been Sandipatika listing has been given in Ayurveda. The same has to be applied here. And there will be a smaller percentage of the each and everything, but we can pinpoint predominative. Yes, any other questions, please? Hello? Any other questions? Then which Prakriti we give priority? Example, Mesha. Here, see, the Mesha Rasi is a fixed one. Mesha Rasi is a fixed one. Whereas, having a planet in the Mesha Rasi is an optional. Maybe, may not be even. So, always we have to adopt with the Rasi only. This is what I am saying. If the Nakshatra, here we are going to go with very specifically a point blank when it is going to be there. Here the Mesha Rasi, Ashwini Nakshatra, Pitta Vata, which you are speaking, is very right. This is the question is being given by the Chudamani. And thanks for sharing. Okay. Thank you very much. Any other thing? I think we stop here and look forward for this next some other Saturday. As I announced well in before, it will be available in School of Technoayurveda WhatsApp group. And if you want to once again see this video, it will be available on the YouTube School of Technoayurveda. You can just make it out. Thank you and good day for all.